Fidgel here with a special concoction from outer space. Today we've got a special recipe from the deep reaches of outer space. They're the favorite candy snack of the Lizard King. They're called Lizard King Crunchies. The Lizard King gave me the recipe himself in gratitude for teaching him the importance of playing fair. Before I get started, I'd like to introduce you to my lab assistant, Sarah. She's gathered up all the things you'll need. A heavy, medium-sized saucepan with a lid, some food coloring to make a nice green lizardy color. You can add some flavoring oils like lime, wintergreen, or mint. You'll need a wooden spoon or something else to stir with, measuring spoons for the half tablespoon of baking soda, a measuring cup to measure the 1/4 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1½ tablespoons of corn syrup, and a ½ cup of sugar. You'll also need 2 cookie trays, a butter knife, and some cooking spray. This recipe does need a responsible grown-up. Don't do this yourself if they're not around. No cheating on this. The other thing to always do when you cook is to wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water. Next, stir the ½ cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of water, 1½ tablespoons of corn syrup, and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice into the saucepan. If you want to use a flavoring, put in a ½ teaspoon now. Candy is kind of tricky to make, and having a nice heavy saucepan helps a lot. The pan needs to be fairly big because when you put the baking soda in at the end, the whole concoction erupts like the Hoozle volcanoes of Brania 6. Have a grown-up put the saucepan on a back burner, away from the kids, and put it on a low heat. Stir the mixture with a wooden spoon, if you have one, for about 30 seconds until the sugar is all melted. Then have the grown-up crank the heat up to high and do not stir. After about 3 minutes, when the mixture starts to boil, put the lid on. This helps wash the sugar crystals off the sides of the saucepan. Leave it on for about 3 minutes. While you're waiting for the 3 minutes, get the food coloring, baking soda, knife, and cookie sheet ready to go. The cookie sheet needs a nice coat of cooking spray or oil, same with the knife. Back to the saucepan. Using an oven mitt, take the lid off, being careful of the steam from the pan. Do not stir. Just let it sit for about another 3 or 4 minutes. But the grown-up must watch the mixture closely. About 10 minutes from when you turn the heat up to high, the mixture will start changing from clear bubbles like a bubble bath to a caramel color like the fizz from a cola drink or a root beer. As soon as the color starts to darken, they need to pull the saucepan off the heat. The exact timing of this makes all the difference in the hardness of the candy. If you have a candy thermometer, the mixture should be at 310 degrees Fahrenheit. Quickly mix in the optional coloring. We use a nice green color. You'll need quite a few drops or a tablespoon, especially if the mixture has turned darker caramel color. Stir it in just enough to get an even coloring. Then add the 1½ tablespoons of baking soda. It will react with the lemon juice and create a thick foam. Barely stir it because otherwise the foam will go away. Just stir enough to get the mixture foaming and stop when the foam starts to collapse. Pour the mixture onto the 2 cookie sheets. After about a minute, the mixture will start to harden. There's not much time between when it's too gooey to cut and when it's too hard to cut, so keep testing the knife on little corners. When the knife can cut cleanly through and divide the candy, or when you can use the knife to just kind of smoosh deep lines in the candy, cut it into bite-sized pieces. When it hardens, you can break up the candy on the deep indentations. Pop it into a plastic bag for safekeeping. People with braces and fillings should be careful because the candy can get very chewy after the first crunch. Cleaning up can look scary at first, but all you need to do is rinse everything with hot water and it all comes off very easily. That's it for me. Look for more fun recipes on the other Penguins DVDs.